and welcome to your October collage sheet day. Thank you so much for joining me yet again for another month. I know I sound like a broken record, but I truly do appreciate it. And it is time to get down. I was trying to get these out earlier than like on the Wednesday, but with the billing cycle and everything, I pushed it to the Saturday, and we had family visiting. Well, I went to visit family and it just didn't work out well, and now all my family, my husband and my 2 teacup humans, are now sick with colds, and I am staying very far away from them because I don't have the time to get sick with a cold, and man flu is rife. Man flu is real, according to my husband. And also, please excuse my hands. I was meant to go get my nails done this morning for this video, and then as I was printing the last of the sheets, my ink ran out, so I had to do an emergency trip to Officeworks, grab new ink, and cancel my appointment for my hands, and just said, I don't care. The girls, the guys, you inkies need their collage sheets ASAP. I'm not making them wait any longer, so excuse my hands. So, are we ready? Are we ready? There are 13 sheets in here. So let's get started. If you haven't noticed, I have been journaling in an art journaling in a passport size, and it has been so much fun. And I asked the top tier if they wanted some of my pages to play around with themselves, so in progress pages that they can alter and play with, and everyone said yes. Now, you don't have all of them, of course, you have some of them, but I grabbed some of my favorites, some that were almost complete, some that were like close to complete, and as you can see, I have had to change and alter a few things due to using artwork that is not my own. I don't have rights to, like the big eye here. Obviously the one in the original is from Jane's Whimsical Girls book, or her washi tape, I can't quite remember, so I had to make sure I covered that up because I don't have the rights to that. I'm not shady, I don't want to do dodgy things. So I have given you a sampling of some of the pages within the passport, and I've kept them to passport size so that you guys can play with them yourself. So I think there is 3 pages of these things for you to chop and change and alter and play with. And even I'm going to use these things in my actual journal because they're in my little passport. And so I wanted to make sure that I've got to play with them as well. So I've already started by putting this one, and I think this is when I decided that I wanted to give them to you guys in like collage sheet form, because I think it'd be fun. You guys can do some really cool stuff with it. I've started altering some of them already. So that is page 1 for you. Then we have page 2. This is not the order they are in the files, because I know they're all just higgledy-piggledy in here and they're all numbered in the actual files. So there's those there for you to play with and alter. Even I can see myself chopping and changing some of these up myself and reimagining things that I've already imagined. Is that a thing? We're going to make it a thing. So there's those ones for you. This one was probably my favorite page of them all. They all sort of go together, and I love these so much, and they're probably the most close to done, these 2 pages. So there they are for you. I've also thrown some borders down the side because I knew that I didn't have I didn't want to make them bigger because the consensus was to keep them as their actual size, so I've kept them as close to actual as possible. So there's those there. And this one was just thrown in at the end, and I did this because I want to put this onto acetate and make it one of those tip-ins that would cover words. If you wanted to have some wording or there's some writing, there's a little bit too like personal in your journal. I like to make big backgrounds that are very harsh and crazy and lots of things going on, so that you can just tip that over a page and then that writing stays very well hidden. So that's the only reason why this is in the collage sheets at the moment, this month, because I actually wanted it for myself. It is just an inked page that I've blown right up. It was actually tiny little squares that I inked, and I liked them and thought they would look really nice as a background to use as a acetate tip-in, so you could cover up anything that you want to stay relatively hidden, because I know that the people like to pry, and even though I code my pages, if I'm talking about something I don't want people to read, I will code it, but I know there's people out there that don't want to do that, so these are the sorts of things that come in handy. Last month I think it was the It was this page that I made. Hold on, let me get it out before I drop everything. So this one was the last one that I did for you guys as a like privacy page protector background. So it works as a background, but the reason why I give them to you is so that you can use them to cover up words or anything that you want to keep a little bit secret. So that's the only reason why this big ass background page is in there for you. So there's that. There was a ask for some phrases, some inky phrases, just general phrases in general, just creative phrases that you can chop up and play with. These are all been suggested by the inkies. There's probably only one or two that are in there that are mine, and you can cut them up and use them in your journals. And I decided to make it all one font. One, because there wasn't an ask to do multiple fonts, but I would have to get creative licenses for all those fonts, and it cost quite a bit of money. And the impact label font was free for commercial use and private use, and it's probably the most versatile and will match a plethora of sort of styles in your journal. So I decided to keep it to this style, even though I would have loved to have done multiple fonts. I would have had to purchase creative licenses for all those fonts, and I'm just not at that stage yet. So the only thing that I'm going to get a kick out of is Angie, who I love and adore, but she likes to stir about the fact that I am very pink. I like using pink. A lot of the inkies love pink, and pink is a big factor when you're part of my tribe. And so she said not all inkies wear pink, and just to stir her that little bit, I couldn't help but make the word pink. And she can print her page in black and white so that it's black, but I got a laugh out of it when I did it, and I'm sure all of you will too. There are some things like Army of Odd, Winning at Life, Where Art and Life Collide, I Got You Girl, Make Every Moment Count, You Are So Worth It, Between the Pages of My Journal, Don't Stop Until You're Proud, Explore the Unknown. I've also got the hashtag down here. There was a call for the hashtag because people get it wrong sometimes. So it's all there for you guys to cut up. This is going to be one of the most used things that I use. I love all this sort of stuff, and it's great to just sort of chuck them into journal spreads. I always like having little sayings, so there's a whole plethora of sayings for you to use, and if in the future we have a big chunk more, I'll make another page like this. So there's that one. Because Halloween is coming, yes, I'm an Aussie and we don't really do much Halloween. My family does. I'm married into a Colombian family. They celebrate Halloween, so it's kind of seeped into my household, and I'm a-okay with that. I decided to do a few little bits and pieces in the collage sheets that depicted Halloween. And so some of the days of the week up here, I've given you 2 lots of days of the week for the pumpkins. And then I've done errands to buy, notes, a couple of blank ones and to do. And then I've given you some larger ones that you can fill in yourself. I've also put a today marker up the top, which I'm going to have in my journal. I selfishly made this for myself. And the little ladybug girl is from my passport. So there are those for you there. I'm pretty happy with the pumpkins, just saying. Just saying. And some of the illustration pages I've got Aunt Maud, who was the inspiration behind the Inktober prompts. I'm so glad to have collage sheets done and dusted. I am behind on Inktober because of collage sheets, and now I can sit back and draw until my heart's content, and then 90% sure that a lot of those illustrations will make it into next month's collage sheets, so that I feel like I'm getting a really good head start. So she was the person or the character that inspired the whole thing for the Inktober, with Sam, I should say Samantha, because Samantha and Sam are two different people, even though they're the same name. But Samantha Marshall was the lovely inky that came up with her backstory, won my heart, and then it kind of just happened that the prompts happened the way they did. And then we've got a few heads and stuff for you to play with, a few sets of arms, which was a request. I will try and get more arms. I had a theme going in my head, but I didn't quite pull it off this month. I needed more time. It was a project that became bigger than I could get into the collage sheets this month, and I'll explain it when I get to something a little bit later on. There's the little bedsock protector, the bedsock wearing pillow protecting monster from my Inktober day 1. This little guy was asked for a little while ago, and so I decided to scan him. He's in a sketchbook somewhere, and he was a fave, so he was meant to go in a couple of months ago. He never made it in, and so I decided to pop him in as a page peeker. A couple of little illustration-y bits for you to play with. So there's that one there. You have your October minis, which is basically everything sized down into mini form. Some of the Monday mantras sized down, not all of them. Some of the passport pages sized down, and some of the illustrations sized down for you to play with. And obviously the minis go out to everyone, so when you see the post for the minis, you've already got it in your collage sheet pack. So then this was kind of what I was going for. I want to make monsters that create almost like a calendar where their bodies are 7 days of the week, and I wanted to make them in really funky sort of Frankenstein boxes that you could add your own dates. I had actually filled the dates in, and then thought, no, it'd be easier if I didn't have the dates in for you, because you may want to use this differently, like not use it on the dates that I'd written in, if you get what I mean. So I took all the dates out and I put a head on top, and I added some of her hands and some legs. And I've actually got back here one with no body and no arms and no legs, so that you can have a play with adding your own. And I'm going to play with this idea in a Jane video for one of the blog posts that I'm going to do. But I really like the idea of these, and if you would like a month's worth, so 4 or 5 monsters in this form for weekly highlights, tell me and I'll make them for next month. But if it's not something you're going to find yourself using, I won't do it, but I will do it for myself, because I actually really like the idea. And having like just little daily highlights in there, especially if you don't have anything massive happening and you feel like you want to journal but you don't have much to say. I think these little highlight monsters or highlight people, you could obviously put your kid's head there. It is really, I'm going to have fun with that lesson. And so I decided to do one with no body, and then I have this one here with body and arms and legs to show you what you can do. I mean, obviously you can just chop off her head and add your own head. It's very, very Frankenstein. I love the idea of it, and I want to make more of them. And so this one will be just about the size for my B6, and same with this. So I didn't want to make them too big, but it was just enough space for you to write like a daily highlight or a gratitude list or something like that, but doing it in a way that was more fun and more creative. So that's kind of where my head was at, and I was going to make arms and legs and everything, but it was just too much. I got this brainwave idea like a week before the collage sheets were due, and then I'm trying to frantically do all the things. So if you would like me to expand on this idea in next month's sheets, tell me and I'll make it happen, because I really like the idea of it, and I think I might do a dedicated lesson on how to build them and create them using things you already have, like stamps and things like that. You don't have to be a drawer to do this, so I may do a lesson on building a highlight monster, I think I want to call that, something like that. I'll figure out a really catchy name. Highlight monster sounds stupid. And so we've got a little innocent little ghostie, another little ghostie. She's fave. I'm gonna have her everywhere. I absolutely love her. Some more hands, some florals, and a couple more heads and more monsters for you to have a play with. This is an all black and white page. I always try and throw some of those in. Some of the elements that you can color in, little florals, big florals, ghost cats, and this second Inktober that was a request to have as well. Like I said, Inktober drawings will probably make it into some of next week's goodness me, next month's collage sheets. And there's been a push from Maria to try and turn my illustrations into a zine. I don't know if that will happen. Believe me, I would love to. I need 5 of me basically. So there's your coloring in sheet for this month. And because I didn't know if everyone would like the weekly pumpkins and didn't want to do Halloween, I did make floral ones in a large size and a small one for you to have a play with. Your 3x4 calendar is there, and also an October header using the florals out of her hair. And obviously the florals here are from her hair as well. So there are those for you to play with if you're not too keen on the pumpkins. I got you. I only did one set of numbers this month, and I did spider webs. I did spider webs for this month because I thought it was pretty cool, pretty kooky, and I like the idea of them being up in the corners of your journals. I've also given you a tag. I've also given you the calendar girl with no florals in her hair, just black and white. A few of my little handwritings that you've had in previous sheets, but I was just filling gaps. That morning thoughts one is like one of my favorite things to use, and I think I've already used it in here. Yeah, morning thoughts, one of my favorites to use. I love it, so I thought I'd add it again, purely for selfishness purposes. But they are it, a little monster who I tried to color in and give you a colored version, but I picked the wrong shade to color him in, and he looks awful. Absolutely awful. I need to reprint him and reshade him, so I just gave you the line work of him because I didn't want him not to make it. There are a few illustrations that didn't make it again this month because I just ran out of room, especially with the passport scans. So it means that I've got, you know, a few bits and pieces for next month, which is always nice to know I've got a kickstart on the collage sheets. But there is my take on a little bit of Halloween, a little bit of monsteries, a little bit of everything for everyone, backgrounds, collage, passports, sayings, numbers, ghosts, Frankenstein weekly highlight monsters, you name it, and a little bit of page privacy protection. And that is your collage sheets done and dusted. So I will have fun with some of these. Obviously some things didn't make it, like these sorts of things, because they are from Tisha Moore, or they've got photographs of my kids. I didn't want to do that. There will be maybe a couple of more pages popped in next month. It's just like, say, like this page didn't make it because I didn't have enough room to put it in, and like this guy would have been great to see how you guys morphed him. So there's a few little bits and pieces that haven't made it into this month's, but you'll get to see them in next month's maybe. We'll see. Obviously this girl couldn't make it because this whole chunk of her is from the Flow magazine, and I ain't getting into trouble for having things that I shouldn't be having. And I'm pretty sure I've given you these in previous sheets as little backgrounds. If someone can correct me, I'm pretty sure I have. This is from an old sort of passport thing that I'm going to revamp as well, that I bound myself ages ago. And obviously I'm just going to have a play, but this little pocket rocket has become... we're obsessed with the passport. So I will be continuing the passport series this month because I know everyone loves it, and I enjoy just sitting and playing and using my supplies and trying to do the use it or lose it challenge, which is also still happening. Yeah, just being really mindful about what we have and what we use and all that sort of stuff. I'm enjoying my B6. I started working in my B6 journal this month, and I am enjoying the process of that. And now that I'm done with collage sheets, I can breathe. I can start drawing for Inktober. I can get my journaling out there. My little love. I can just have some fun, and try not to have to do every Inktober illustration digitally, which has been my go-to. My iPad Pro has been in my hands 24/7 because I've been drawing for collage sheets. I did my 2 Inktobers digitally. I feel like I'm getting better at being digital than I am being traditional at the moment, so I need to make sure that I go back to my traditional roots and have a little play with some Inktober prompts. There's so many things I want to do. There's so many takes and stuff. I love all the Planttober things. I just want to spend my days drawing for the next month. I'm inspired to sit down and have a draw today. Boo's been begging me to do some art, and I had to get collage sheets done and dusted before I could say, yes, baby, let's go do some art. So I'm going to upload this video, go sit down with my daughter and make some art with her, because she has been busting to art with mummy these holidays. So I hope you enjoy your collage sheets. I cannot wait to see what you do with them. Every month, it's my favorite part of chasing down what people do. Make sure if you post them on social media, you use the hashtag InkyPatreonTribe. That is how I find you and how the other Inkies find you as well. I know a lot of us follow that hashtag to find other Inkies, and that's how I tend to track you guys down the most. Again, collage sheets are for personal use only, unless you come to me for permission, which some of the teachers in our group have come to me personally and said, I would like to use your collage sheets to help my children. Can I do that? I will always say yes to teachers when teaching children of any age, but you need to come to me personally, and all the teachers have done that and have been amazing. But if you are using my stuff for any reason, for profit, it is against the terms and conditions. So it is personal use only. You can make mail art to send to your friends, all that sort of stuff, but please do not use my stuff and sell it. That is it. That is everything. Have a wonderful October, guys, and I'll see you again soon. Bye. So I've just laid down my distress stains in picked raspberry and mustard seed and scattered straw, broken china, and peacock feathers, I think. Peacock feathers, yep. And the yellow, the pink, and the blue were colors that I used way back when, and then I realized that my photo of my mum, my sister, and I look really nice there. And then I went through my little ball